In this lesson, we'll review a problem from a short, independent reading passage. This is part of the critical reading section. We're on page 645, question 8. And this is an independent passage. The passage next to it was also independent, so that means these two are standalone, and there always will be just two questions just dealing with the respective passage, and a total of 4 questions. And one point to remember with the critical reading, once the passages begin, the reading passage questions, there is not a progressive level of difficulty. So the sentence completions are always in the beginning. Those will have the progressive order, but once the passages start, there's really no uniform progression. It's just completely random. And in fact, question 8 is a difficult question. So here's the sentence. The passage implies that black leaders have sometimes been portrayed as being blank. So here's the beginning of the passage, and let's try to predict how black leaders have sometimes been portrayed. The belief that it is harmful to the black community for authors to explore the humanity of our leaders can have troubling effects. At the least, it promotes the belief that our heroes have to be perfect to be useful. And then it goes on one more sentence. At worst, it censors our full investigation of black life. So let's try to predict how black leaders have sometimes been portrayed. The belief that it's harmful to the community for authors to explore the humanity of our leaders can have troubling effects. So there's a couple of negatives here. It's harmful to explore the humanity. This can have troubling effects. At the very least, it promotes the belief that our heroes have to be perfect to be useful. So you should be able to glean here. It's harmful for the authors to explore the humanity. The belief that it's harmful to explore sort of the human side can be troubling. And it also states that heroes, these black leaders, have sometimes been portrayed as perfect. The best advice I can give you for these passage questions, when you have to see how the author is portrayed or what's suggested or implied, it is never going to be the word that you see in the passage. And if you really want to predict it, you're really looking for a word like perfect, right? Because it's harmful for people to explore the humanity can be troubling. There's a belief that it's harmful. So there's a couple of double negatives here. They've been portrayed as perfect. You will never find the answer perfect. And this is a hard question simply because of vocab. This is a lot like a sentence completion problem. So let's look at the answer choices. A, it implies that black leaders have sometimes been portrayed as overly sentimental. That's way off. There's nothing to indicate that. We're looking for a word, again, like perfect. Let's take a look at B, deeply complex. That is not the same as perfect. So both of these easily out. Let's go ahead and I'll just eliminate the other two. We've got D and E. D states without regret. You know, that's a little bit closer, but without regret, that is not the same as perfect. We're stating that they've sometimes been sort of put on this pedestal that they never could be even criticized. They're deemed as perfect. And E, beyond understanding, again, off point. And the answer here is C. And C states that sometimes black leaders have been portrayed as above reproach. Reproach is disappointment or criticism. So if somebody is above or beyond reproach, they are perfect. And that's exactly what that means. This is not a hard question to predict, but I think the vocab makes it much more difficult. All right, that's our lesson. The answer here is C. See you next time.